Namaskar, dear devotees and friends, and let us study the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, translated by Swami Ishatmananda, the page number 792. Let us begin with this mantra. Tavo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhirilitam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam Srimadatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. Last Wednesday, and we were discussing about the different stages of sadhana. It is an upward spiritual growth, a journey towards the unity. The conception of many merges into one. So that is how we all discussed the different type of sadhanas. First is pravartaka, that is the beginner. Then sadhaka, the who is already start practicing. Then the siddha, he has developed the faith and has some realization, conviction. And finally, Siddha, that is Sri Ramakrishna's words, that he is the fully transformed person. Now, this, as Swami Vivekananda said, that the spiritual journey actually, it goes how it is from the lower truth to higher truth. It is not that from the wrong to right, or from the darkness to light, not like that. It's a beautifully, the Swami Vivekananda said, it is from lower truth to higher truth. When some people are thinking that the God is only into this particular form, or particular place, or particular something, that is also okay, that's also true. Because they are believing in the existence of God and they are thinking in this way. So, slowly, if we see the history of the spiritual or the religious growth, we will find how the human psychology, human thought evolved. But ultimately it goes to one. And when it goes to the ultimate, the one, and there is no two, so there is no two. The person who is thinking the God is there, that also ceases to be. He merges with the God, or the aspirant becomes the same about which he or she was meditating, concentrating, thinking, imagining. It becomes the one. So ultimate goal is to become one. And when it becomes one, that's called Advaita. Advaita, there is no two. Advaita, Vedanta. Veda means knowledge, Anta is the end. The last knowledge, at the end of the knowledge, is oneness. So, when we see the picture of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, that we have installed a statue of nearly 22 feet, the biggest statue over here in Chicago, in our Home of Harmony. There, that statue shows the right hand of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna showing this particular form of the two fingers. We can imagine that the Lord wanted to tell us that as long as there are two, there are differences. But when these two become one is the Paramatma and the Jivatma, as if he is indicating when they become one, then in the left hand he is showing on the chest the joy, the happiness, the bliss. The ultimate knowledge is the knowledge of one. So that is the ultimate goal of all spiritual life. There's sometimes some people, they cannot think of it and they think that we will go to God, God is over there, and then we will live with God, stay with God. In the near the places of God, in the heaven, all these thoughts are there. But this is the stages. In the final stage, it is one. So that goes, the culmination of the spiritual journey is free from worries. As long as there is duality, there is worries. So we find in that Radha, she is worrying about the Krishna. Where is Krishna? Why Krishna is not coming to me? Why he is not revealing himself? Why I am not getting the company of the Krishna? That duality means that. There's a beautiful that the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said some people they want to enjoy that. That is, of course, it is good. But ultimate culmination is when the Radha Krishna ekatanu hoyo. There is a beautiful song, the Radha Krishna ekatanu hoyo, that they become one. Tanu means the body, they become one. The moment they become one, the aspirant and the object, the God, become one, then there is no worry. So today we are going to the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in giving us the idea how to be free from worries. That we will study. Then let us think in this way. The Bhagavan, he was in the Ram's house and he was discussing about different things, and he said that God is under the control of his devotees. This is a unique word, the beautiful word. The God is under the control of his devotee. The love is so wonderful that the God is also bound by that love. Now the devotee and the God, it is a dualistic way. So again and again, as because the Hinduism, it merges that the jnana and the bhakti, these two paths crossing each other almost every time. And when we are talking about the Vedanta, the pure Vedanta, we never talk about God or heaven or devotee. We talk about completely different way that there is nothing but one, and that is consciousness. But the same thing, same consciousness, it is taking a form that becomes easy for us, ordinary people, to understand. And we, as because we are, our whole the mental condition is like this, we can understand thing if there is a name and there is a form. The form is there, name is there, the beautiful Krishna standing in a very unique way and playing the flute. Immediately we start loving that particular form and we know that is God. And how? Then there's all the stories goes in his biography, in his life, that he is lifting the heel, he is punishing the very powerful demons, and that so many things are happening, miraculous powers are there. So we think, oh, God is there, he will protect her. And at the same time, he is so lovable, we can love him, appreciate him, we can be in his company. So that also it goes, and again the same Krishna, he says, I have created this whole world. I have created this whole world. I am the creator, I am the sustainer, and everything goes within me. The 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where the great, powerful, heroic Arjuna, also shaken that seeing that the Lord is taking everything, the whole world, into within himself, and as if he is just biting, eating, and swallowing them, by seeing that terrible form of destruction. Even the so powerful hero like Arjuna, he started praying to God, oh, please stop this, and I like to see you as I knew you before. So that is three different forms of the same one spiritual personality. Now, it is all-pervading. At the same time, it can take a form, a name. Why? So that it becomes easy for us. So, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in his Gospel, when you are reading, we find that sometimes he is giving the hint that everything is one. At the same time, he says, well, the path may be dualistic path. So, God is under the control of his devotees. This is a very encouraging the words. That if I love God, I will be able to control the God. In what way? Through my love. I will say, now you be with me. You have to eat with me. You have to talk to me. That love. King Duryodhana was very attentive to Krishna and said to him, please have your meal here. But the Lord went to Vidura's heart. He is very fond of his devotees. He ate Vidura's simple rice and greens as if they were celestial food. It is not the grandeur, the money, the power, the social status, the God will be there. No. So this is the teaching. In one sentence, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna giving the clear idea. But most of the time, we think, oh, I have money, I will go to the temple, they will open the door whenever I want, and I donate, so in a separate way they will take, and I will go and sit before God and God will be very happy. No, it is completely different. Sorry. If we can understand that this will be, that this is the way we can feel. Here is a God, he loves the devotee. What type of devotee? Those who are genuine. Whether he is rich, whether he is poor, whether he is educated, uneducated, it doesn't matter at all. God is always, in his wonderful way, it is expressed in the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, giving an incident from the Mahabharata. When the Lord Krishna is coming to visit, Duryodhana wanted to impress him. Because Duryodhana also knew that Krishna is a very powerful person. If I can convince Krishna and can make him my friend and can bring into my the camp, then it will be wonderful. I can control, I can conquer the Pandavas. So he wanted to invite the Krishna. But his ego to show up that I will give you the food on the golden plate and this, that. But the Lord never liked it. He went to the Vidura. Vidura also belongs to the same, but he was a humble person, but very, very devoted to Sri Krishna. By this, in the Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, it is not the wealth, it is not the social power, but the humbleness and the devotion that you can control God. Control God means God will like you and He will listen to your prayer. There's sometimes the children, they'll be crying and the mother and the father listen to him. That's how we can say, oh, he is controlling. The child is controlling the parents. It is actually the affection, the love. The child has no other person to pray. So the child is crying and the parents, out of affection, they say, okay, what do you want? You be with me. So mother and father, they sit with the child and talk to and play to and give the company. So by that way, devotee also try to control the God and constantly feeling the company of God. Now there are so many devotees, hundreds and thousands and millions. How the God, one God, can be everywhere with every devotee? Sometimes we think in this way. If you have read that Bhagavata, there the Lord Krishna, he alone, he is dancing with the gopis and gopinis. Each and every one is a very good devotee. They want the Krishna to be with him or her. And when one time they saw the Krishna is with him, with her, each and every one was feeling that I am with Krishna. No one was deprived, as because each and every one was genuine, so each and every one got the company of the Krishna. The Rasha Leela, each and every one having the company of God. Why? God is all pervading. God is residing in the heart of each and every one. And God can be with millions and trillions in any number, because He is all powerful. The conception of God, the God only belongs to me, as because I worship God in this particular form, here is the God, and others, those who are not following my path, are not having God, is the wrong conception. God can be anywhere, in any form, in any time, any place, because He is all powerful. So these are the ideas, the beautiful ideas. If we can understand, we understand the broadness of religion, the narrowness, the sectarians, bigotry, all that will go away. And unless and until all those things goes away from the mind, one cannot reach God. Whatever may be the name, whatever may be the form of that God, God is all pervading. God is everywhere. It is the wish of God to be in different names and different forms in different times. One cannot say that God is only with me. God is with you. But God can be with some other else also. So Rasha Leela, where the Radha, the supreme devotee, she was having the company of the Lord and she was satisfied, but others were also having the same thing, same everywhere. So this, the unique conception, the God can be everywhere. So he is mentioning a perfect knower of God and the perfect, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, sometimes the perfect Jnani behaves like a ghoul. Jnani. Now just one paragraph before, he was mentioning God is under the control of his devotees. Then he gave the example of the Duryodhana and Vidura, a rich king but proud. The God is not accepting his invitation. But a humble person, devoted, Lord is going to his home. So this is very clear. In the next paragraph, that's why I was mentioning, we must be very, very careful. The path of jnana and path of bhakti is constantly crossing each other when we are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So we should not mix it up. And immediately after that, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, sometimes a perfect jnani, not a bhakta, not a devotee, it is a jnani, a path of the knowledge that a person is following is called jnani. Behave like a ghoul. It doesn't discriminate about food and drink, holiness, unholiness. A perfect knower of God and a perfect idiot have the same outer signs. And in this line, he is mentioning the God, a perfect knower of God. And what it becomes? Jnani. The knower means the knowledge, and knowledge in Sanskrit, jnana. So jnani, who has understood that the God is everywhere, then for him it is wonderful. And how he behaves, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, as long as I see God separately, then I am careful. That I should be very careful to approach God. So I should not go in any ordinary dress. There should be a perfect dress when I am going to God. I should be, after cleaning my body, and then only I should go. Like that, all this. In the temples, in the churches, everywhere, the people always try to be holy so that they can approach the holiness. But when you go ultimately and reach over there, then what happens? You become the same. Then there is no difference. For those who have not realized God, for them temple, images, and the priest are separate. But the person who has realized God, for him God is everywhere, inside the temple, outside the temple, in that particular priest, and outside the beggar, all are the same. So in the beginning we were discussing that what is that ultimate goal of spiritual life? Oneness. The realization of the oneness. We can talk about it, we read about it, we hear about it, but feeling about oneness is really, really difficult. Why? Because of the ego. That I, that sense, separates me. So that is the sadhana. Here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning the culmination of the spiritual journey that gives us a freedom from worries. Even a devotee, when he is so close to God or she is so close to God, but at the same time, a different kind of worry is there. Constantly thinking, will the God be with me? Can I talk to God today? Will He appear before me? That tension is always there. But when you become one, the God and the devotee, then there is no worry. And that particular condition is called jnani. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is coming to that. First, through devotion, one can control God because the love that binds God. Second, when one become one with God, that is the perfect condition of devotion, and that's called the jnani. The position of that, the person is known as the knower of Brahman, knower of God, jnani. A perfect knower of God and a perfect idiot have same outer signs. How? Because outwardly the behavior is completely the same. A perfect jnani perhaps does not utter the mantra while bathing in the Ganges. Traditional Hindus, when they go to bathe in the Ganga, they will be first touching the water, holy water, and they won't touch the feet. They will touch the water in the hand and they will pray. Gange cha Jamune chaiva. All these the mantras are there, and the Ganga Stotra is there. Then it will sprinkle on the head. Then it will go inside the water. And that is the Ganga worship. First you will do. Jnani perhaps doesn't utter the mantras while bathing in the Ganges. While worshipping God, perhaps he offers all the flowers together at his feet. Then there are many mantras are there. So all the gods and goddesses, demigods and goddesses, so they will be going on giving. So if you have observed the Hindu, the performing the puja, every time they will take a flower and uttering a name of God or goddess they will offer. So Surya Devata, Chandra Devata, and Dika Devata, Dara Devata, like that they will go on saying. But the Jnani, who has already realized the God, he knows they are not different. Only one. We are at this moment when we don't know, so we are trying to appease all gods and goddesses. If you go to any Hindu family, you will find so many gods and goddesses in their shrine. I have visited so many houses. Everywhere they will keep so many gods and goddesses. And sometimes some people will keep their ancestors' pictures also, maybe grandfather or the grandmother or the father or the mother, those who have passed away. They also consider them as god and goddesses. They will be keeping in the shrine. The same way, their guru's photo is also there, and they are worshipping maybe the Lord Krishna. At the same time, in one corner there will be Shiva, there will be Kali, there will be this, there will be that. So many. Why? Because we think God may be manifesting through different forms. So I should not say I don't worship this, only one. So that is called pravartaka. They are beginning. Slowly, when the knowledge dawns and they can understand everything is nothing but the one, manifesting through one, and that oneness gives the knowledge. Not only the God I am worshipping outside as an image or a picture, but the God is also within me. I am that God. A few days before, when we were worshipping the Ma Sharada Mani Devi celebration, I was showing the devotees how the pujari is showing both the hands like this. That aesthetic sense is also there. Like this also you can do, but when you are crossing the hands, both the feet and the whole body and the head, and you are crossing like this, it goes beautifully, the aesthetic way. But what he is mentioning? I am that God I am going to worship. Here in this case, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was worshipping Sri Ramakrishna. So, Sarva Deva Devi Sarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya. So he was going on uttering. And why he is showing the hand like that? From my head up to toe, I am that. This is Hinduism. I am going to worship the God. But who am I? I am also the same. I too am the same God. But right this moment, I want to enjoy separating myself from God and worshipping God. That is called Hinduism. It's so broad, so vast, so unfathomable, unique. We are not afraid of God. And I am mentioning right from the head up to the toe, I am that purity. Can we think of, oh God in my feet? That is called knowledge. Each and every part of my body is nothing but that purity. Everyone, I am going to worship you. Devam bhutva, devam jajet. I am going to worship the God by becoming devata, divine. Otherwise I cannot. Unless and until I become that, I cannot worship that God. So this uniqueness, the moment you become one, you are a jnani. And that jnani, how he behaves? Because everything is nothing but the same, the manifestation of the same God. Whether you give one flower, offering and uttering the name of different God, or take all the flowers and offer at a time, is the same for him. But unless and until you are truly feeling that, you have to practice one by one. Just after reading this book, if we go and take all the flowers and to save time, that is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said and it's okay. No, it won't. So that's why we have to understand that when we are performing, we should be genuine in feeling, in realization, in understanding. So otherwise, outward behavior has nothing to do. We can deceive people by saying, oh, God is one, I have realized God. But your behavior, how you are thinking. Now it comes to, a man cannot renounce action as long as he desires worldly enjoyment. Now action means the karma, and it is related with the desire. When the desire is there, the action is there. Now I like to eat something. I have to go to the market, I have to purchase those ingredients, then I have to cook properly, and then I can enjoy that particular plate, particular food. So desire is to eat or taste, enjoy that particular food. So naturally it is related with the action. But if you don't have the desire, no action. Similarly, when I don't have any desire in this world, it becomes Naishkarma Siddhi. There is a great idea, Naishkarma Siddhi. There is completely free from action. First is Sravana, then Manana, Nididhyasana, then Ekatmata. The Ekatmata, the first I am hearing about God. That is the beginning of my life's journey. The many of the people, they particularly Westerners, they read from here and there, and mainly about the yoga, and they think that it is a great thing that Kundalini Jagaran, etc., etc. And some of the people also mentioning that. But this is, we have to understand one thing. What is this Kundalini? What is this power? Suppose it rises, then what is going to happen to us? Just we are imagining the Kundalini Jagaran and all that. You know that sometimes I hypnotize myself, thinking that I have realized God. But your behavior, your action, that will show that whether you have realized or not. So that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning those who have truly realized God, those who have become one with God, how they will behave. When Arjuna is asking in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, how I will understand the one person who has realized, truly realized God, that in the Bhagavan Krishna is giving the complete idea. Prajohati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata. That is the first line. Prajahati. The jahal means giving up. Now that prefix, means perfectly. Perfectly, his mind is completely free from desire. Prajahati yada kaman. Kama means the desire. So when all desire, each and every little desire also, sometimes jokingly, Mother is also is to say Ma Saradamani Devi, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, even the desire to eat something, if it is there, then again you have to come down. You have to come and enjoy that. A little desire also will not allow you to pass through. That is the Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. Partha means Arjuna. O Arjuna, when someone has been able to completely give up each and every desire, not an iota of desire is there in his mind, know him as a perfect person, or a God-realized person, or a man of knowledge. So when we go and judge the Mahapurusha, these, that, different type of names they take, and then they will be behaving like that, and it looks that they also dress in such a way that, oh, it looks really, really, they're great, but all performers. That is a performance he is making, trying to impress people. That I don't know if people are satisfied, it is okay. But the true thing is, he's not having any desire. Then what is there? Why is surviving? Love. Love for the beings. After the realization, he feel, oh my God, look at these people. Sometimes you will find a person who became very, very successful in his life, then after the retirement, goes back to his own village from where he started his study, and he goes and try to help those little boys, the young boys and girls, the students, so that they can also grow up. Now he is satisfied. He is now complete. Then after that he is not simply forgetting, rather going down to that particular place where from he started his journey, and now trying to help those whom he doesn't know, perhaps. There is no relation. Not that they are is all relatives, no, but because of the love. Oh, these children are also in the same condition as I was. After the realization of God, some people, some great soul, they come down and they help people. Swami Vivekananda, the great mind, he said, as long as even a dog will be hungry, that means any suffering anywhere. Why he mentioned dog? The street dogs, in India, have a very wretched life. So like that, I will come back. I will serve them. So that is not that he is not free. He is the Shiva himself. He is completely free. Because of love they come down. After the successful life, I have seen many people in America and in Great Britain, in Canada, they are thinking about their own village, own school, own people. We like to help them. I know a doctor, successful doctor. He has started one school over there in his own village, and there he is giving them the help. So this is the way the love goes down. So sometimes the perfect jnani behaves like this, and he does not discriminate about food. So this is the way we have to understand a great soul. So outward, the dress and the behavior and the talk and the popularity and the money, nothing will be. So to understand a perfect person, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, a man cannot renounce action as long as he desires worldly enjoyment. As long as one cherishes a desire for enjoyment, one performs action. In 2 lines in this book, the Master Mahasaya very clearly mentioning the statement of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The action at different type, it says the karma, then akarma, bikarma and nishkarma, the 4 stages, 4 different types. Karma is action. Karma, action, why we do action? Because we have some desire, something we like to do. Now, after coming over here in Chicago, it came into me that this is a place where in the whole series of the human, the growth, if we take it for 10,000 years of civilization, the first time in the human history, in Chicago, all the religious leaders came together, sat on the same platform and addressed the people and talked about their own paths. And they were side by side sitting, not fighting, not arguing, but just disclosing, I like this way, that much. This is a unique thing. Unity in diversity. There are differences, but we are united. How? Because as I am thinking that I will reach to that goal by this way, you are also thinking, let us go in our own way. Why should I have to change or to criticize or to create problem for others? No. That is the sign of civilization. Understanding, accepting, cooperating. That is the sign of civilization. It's not the beautiful building and these and that. That is not civilization. Civilization is the broadness of mind. So we are civilized now. And that happened over here in Chicago. Now we have published a beautiful calendar. One of our devotee, she is also a monastic member and a nun. She, after the research, beautifully, every year we publish the calendar. There's all the informations are there as a calendar. At the same time, the other page will give you the information about this, how it came. Long before the Chicago Parliament of Religion, the world conferences were held. So 1851, from that London and all this history coming down, 1892-93, about that we all know, because that was the first time they organized the Parliament of Religion. That there it began. And Sri Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, embodiment of the Parliament of Religion. It is Sri Rama, it is Sri Krishna, he himself said, the same power manifested at different time for different type of purposes, different type of people. And this time the purpose is to show the world all paths are leading to the same goal. At the time of Sri Rama, there was no different religions. At least we do not know. At the time of Krishna, there is only Sanatana Dharma. So when he says Sarva Dharman Parityajya, he is not mentioning different religions. He is mentioning different duties. The dharma here, the duties, the responsibilities. So give up all those and come to me, surrender to me. That is the meaning. But when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna came in 1850, 36 he was born, in 1836. That time in the whole world, so many varieties of religions, the paths and philosophies. Now the God, he was practicing all paths in his own life. And his mind was so focused. So within few days, he could realize the truth. And he ultimately said, all paths are leading to the same goal. Any religion, it can take you, any path can take you to the same goal if you are sincere, if you are genuine in that. And no conflict. But unfortunately, because of the misunderstanding, some of the egoistic people who took up the mental on them and thinking they are the keepers of religion, they started fighting. And in the name of religion, hundreds and thousands of people have been killed. So much of bloodshed because of the religion. A group of people, they started shunning the religion. Now what is this religion that making us different? Here is the answer. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is the answer. Religion not to believe, when we are talking about that we should not denounce religion. Religion is pure. Only application, only misunderstanding, misinterpretation, that depends on those people who are ignorant, who are selfish. That's why we have to understand who is a religious person who is not having any desire. That is the criteria. Whatever may be the religion, whatever may be the language, if the person who is demanding that he is a religious person, the yardstick is, are you having any desire, selfish desire? Then you are not. So that's what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. Then I thought, as Sri Ramakrishna, he practiced and propagated this particular that all paths are leading to the same goal, there's a unique way that we can, the humanity can grow in peace, in harmony, in happiness. So why not start? So we purchased a particular the place in Chicago and started Home of Harmony. That is the name I have given, Home of Harmony. And Swami Vivekananda came and he talked about that. That is the idea. Very humble. They're not that the so-called big spiritual teachers are coming and talking. It will take time, but it is the first step. And it was necessary. And Chicago is the place where it should be. Then slowly, by the grace of God, when people will understand, when they will come, the last from the May 21st we inaugurated, and every Saturday different religious leaders, they came, they expressed their views, and slowly it is becoming a very friendly place. Then one Muslim gentleman came and he prayed before Sri Ramakrishna. He was praying his God, the Allah, but in the front of Sri Ramakrishna, he was not hesitant. I also was not hesitant to allow him. Yes, why not? And the Christian and the Jewish, they all came, and different type of people they are performing in different way. They all came. This is really unique. Now that will reach to the other organizations, religions. They will also think that why not? Let us develop this idea. So that's Sri Ramakrishna's idea, and really very Catholic, very broad, very unique. And that is the only solution to solve the conflict between religions and philosophy. The Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning what is the goal of religion. That is also, we follow religion without knowing that what is the goal. There is a vague idea of heaven. No one knows what is this heaven. Oh, there is a beautiful place, there is this, there is that. All imaginations. That those who are very rich, that the kings and the queens and the very rich people, that they are living in the heaven only. Why they should go to heaven then? What is this heaven? Oh, the lot of food and no tension and all. Ultimate thing is there is no worry. And that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, that each and every one of us, we are chasing the happiness. Knowingly, unknowingly. I have to become a doctor, I have to become an engineer, I have to become this, that. Why? To become happy. After becoming a doctor, if I am not happy, then what is the use of that knowledge? I am constantly suffering mentally. Apparently people are saying, oh, he's a great doctor. But inside, mentally, I am constantly suffering. Is that the ultimate goal? No, this is the happiness. And how it is possible? Sri Ramakrishna is giving that example. A bird sat absent-mindedly on a mast of a ship anchored in the Ganges. Slowly the ship sailed out into the ocean. When the bird came to his senses, it could find no shore in any direction, because in the sea there is nothing anywhere. It flew towards the north, hoping to reach land. It went very far and grew very tired, but could not find no shore. What could it do? It returned to the ship and sat on the mast. After a long while the bird flew away again, and this time toward the east. It couldn't find the land in that direction either. Everywhere it saw nothing but the limitless ocean. Very tired, it again returned to the ship and sat on the mast. After resting a long while, the bird went toward the south and towards the west. When it found no sign of land in any direction, it came back and settled down on the mast. It did not leave the mast again, but sat there without making any further effort. It no longer felt restless or worried. Because it was free from worry, it made no further effort. Then the captain who was present, he mentioned, what an illustration. How to be free from worry, completely depending on God. Whatever will happen, happen. What I can do. So by that way, the mast is, in the story, the mast of the ship is nothing but that God. And when I am worrying of what is going to happen to my son, to my daughter, to myself, to my service, to my job, depend on God. All worries will go. So long I am surviving, every day, every moment, all protection came, all help came to me. Up to this I grew. Then why I am worrying? Somebody must be there whom people call as God to look after me. Have the faith in the words of the scripture and the Guru and completely surrender to God. That is the ultimate of religion. But it is very difficult to surrender. When the Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning how to be free from the worry, there's so many books are there. So many different way people are mentioning. Practice this, practice that, and you should close the right nostril and take 11 times breathing in from the left nostril. So many ways the people will be telling. The practices are okay. But the ultimate thing, if we can have the complete faith in the existence of God and depend on God, as the bird in the story was depending on the mast, ultimately. It tried, north, south, east, west. Then ultimately it was sitting on that, that it is going to reach somewhere and I will be fine. So that is the moral of the story, that we have to depend on God to be free from the worries. The Sri Ramakrishna is continuing. Worldly people wonder about the 4 quarters of the earth for the sake of happiness. 4 quarters means east, west, north, south, like that. So that is everywhere they go for happiness. But they don't find it anywhere. They only become tired and weary. The people, they are studying and they are giving the competitive exam and they are coming to the foreign land, they are getting the job, then they are getting married, they are purchasing a house, they are purchasing the car. But then again they are telling, oh no, I am not satisfied. So at the fag end of their life, they don't find the happiness. Why? Because the completion is not there. Why? Desire is there. As long as the desire is there, you can never become satisfied. So what is the ultimate thing? The worry will be there when you are having the wealth. Oh, I am having the wealth. Maybe the dacoits are there, bad people are there. If you are having the beauty of your physical beauty, you will be worrying about, oh, I am growing old, what will happen, wrinkle will come on my skin, this, that, worrying about the beauty, worrying about the wealth. The name and fame in the social status, I was a great singer, I was a great actor, I was a great leader. Now the younger people are coming up, they are taking my place. What will happen to me? Worrying. So in everything the people will be worrying. Why? Desire is there. Suppose you don't bother about what is there. The wrinkle is coming on the body, let it come. And if you think the money is going, let it go. Whatever I had to enjoy, I have enjoyed. So many places in the world I have visited, I have seen everywhere is nothing but the same. Same type of shops, same type of buildings, same type of people, the same way they live. What else to see? Wherever you go, the same thing. But still we go. If I say like this, and if people take my word seriously, then the tourism will stop. So naturally the people, they are going only, oh, if I go to the south, it is beautiful place. If I go to the north, it is so wonderful. So all this way, constantly the tourism going on, they are traveling, they are spending money, the energy, everything only for happiness. But after all this, when they settled, they found the happiness is within myself, within me, and that is, I am free from desire. When that goes, all desires goes, I am fully satisfied, completely satisfied. And that is exactly the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. The worldly people, they wander about to the four quarters of the earth for the sake of happiness. They don't find it anywhere. They only become tired and weary. When through their attachment to lust and gold, they only suffer misery, they feel an urge toward dispassion and renunciation. Most people cannot renounce lust and gold without first enjoying it. There are two sorts of people, those who stay in one place and those who go about to many places. In Sanskrit they say, kuti chaka bahudaka. Kuti chaka is sitting in one place, they don't go anywhere. But they are very satisfied because they know this is the world. So what I am going to see, that is not necessary. So that is called kuti chaka. Bahu udaka. Udaka means water. A person who is visiting different places, that means drinking water of different places. So they say bahu udaka. So by that way, that means he is a traveler, visiting so many places. That one person came over here as a really very courageous person, the young man, on bicycle. He is traveling the whole world. He has completed almost the whole world, and now he came to America and visiting the whole America from west to the east, and then he will go to other places and finally return back to India. He is from India. Now when I was asking what have you seen, he was showing the picture and the people and experience, different places, different type of experiences. Then I asked, what finally you are going to do? You cannot continuously all through your life go on cycling. You will settle down, isn't it? Then what? You will only the experiences of visiting different places will remain over there. For a few days you can have some contact with the people that you have visited in different places. Then slowly they will also forget and people will also forget. Then what? Only in your remembrance you will go on telling the younger generation, you know I travelled and this is this. And you will be showing the paper cuttings, magazines that published your travelling. That is okay. Then finally, are you happy? That is the question. $1 million question. Am I happy after performing all this? So if I am not happy, then what is the purpose of visiting, talking, with this, that? And how to be, that happiness will come, how one can become happy? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, two different ways. One, having the faith in the existence of God and depending on God. And second, not only dependence, become one with God. When you feel that you are that God, when there will be no desire, then that particular, the cover that was covering your real nature will go away. And you will find, oh, I am that. I was searching for God, but I am that God. I was searching for happiness, but I am the source of happiness. I was worrying, but there is no reason to worry. That is the ultimate of religion. Thank you, friends. We will stop over here. And in next Sunday again, we will start from 793 at the page. Any question?
Sanhita is asking, how can we control our anger in adverse situation? Sanhita.
That's a good question, Sanghita. The adverse situation, the anger comes when our desires are not satisfied. But if you think that I should perform this duty, perform this action, perform this work in this way, but somebody else, maybe your boss, they're asking you not to that, if you can adjust, okay, I am here to perform this work. Now, I was thinking to do this work in this way, but my boss says that you should in this way. It's okay, let me do it. In Bengali they say, it is your goat and you like to cut it, either from the tail side or from the neck side. It is up to you. I am here to cut it, then just tell me from which side. So that way, if you surrender, see, you can tell the boss or tell that person, if you do like this, it is good. But if they are not listening to it, okay, no problem. How you want me to do that? I will do that. And suppose that is not the moral work, then take off your hands. They say, no, I am not going to perform that. Go away from there. This is the one way, action-wise, but spiritually, go on praying for those people. Oh God, they are not understanding properly. Can you please turn their mind so that they can understand me properly and we can become friendly, we can live together happily? You will find that you will also solve the problem. Thank you.
Ujjwal is asking, please guide me how to control the diverse nature of mind.
That is the practice, that diverse nature of mind, how the mind means thought, then how these different type of thoughts are coming, because different type of things that you are hearing or you are reading or you are seeing. So by that way, as we always say, and as a student of Vedanta you all know, the pancha, the jnanendriya, there's the eye, the nose, the tongue, the ear and the touch. We are always collecting information. And that information goes to the mind. So the different type of thoughts are coming because of different type of experiences. And if you think that those experiences, those thoughts are disturbing your mind, try to keep distance, make distance. If possible, completely separate them from you. Then the mind will be all right. If not, suppose you are in the working field, then as the beautifully one of our saints says, Haji Haji karte rahiyo, baitha apna tham. Say yes, yes to all people and keep them in good humor, as they call it in English. Keep them in good humor, but you remain in your own place. The only thing that it is not immoral, that you should be very careful. And this, if this is immoral, immediately detach yourself. In no way you should be there. And finally, when you are controlling your mind, only one thought will continue, and that thought, again I will say, will come if you pray to God. Oh God, please help me.
Vijivin is asking, please help me to deal with a spouse who constantly complains about others and worry about things that might happen in future. Please help me.
See, that spouse means it is very difficult, that because of the past karma, some people are like that. But the only way to expose him or her in a positive thoughts. So when we are discussing this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we are trying to give always the positive ideas. And if you can expose him or her into this, or a different type of the words, some of the people, they talk nicely, but they themselves are not the pure people. Their characters, the manners are different. So don't listen to them. That won't give you the perfect that effect in the mind. They are like the performers, like the movie artists. When they are talking, they are moving, they are doing, they are very attractive. But that much entertainment. But for the enlightenment, you have to expose him or her to the right type of teaching. I would suggest the best way is the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Suppose you are close to him or her, just try to read 1 or 2 pages from that book, or just open 1 or 2 talk on that, so that he or she will listen and slowly will get change. A person is nothing but his or her thought. And if that thought changes, everything will be all right. Complaining means a lot of desires are there. If those desires are not satisfied, they complain. But when they understand whatever they have got, that is sufficient. Millions of people have not got that even. Then this complaining nature will go away. Try that.
Drupendra is asking, is dependent on God and self-confidence conflicting?
No. Because when you are depending on God, you are depending on yourself. Because that is the self-confident person only can depend on God. You know how? If you are doubtful about God, you won't be able to depend on God. As because you are conformed, whatever happens. Once I have thought that the God is there and I am going to depend, that means that you are self-confident. Both goes hand in hand. They are not separate. They are the same thing. Thank you.
Ananya Roy is asking, Swamiji, I am with someone who is extremely lazy. I have not seen these things from childhood. I have grown up around very active parents. Now seeing laziness, I feel very angry. How to cope up with this?
So this is the different type of characteristics. Now, as because you just try to help that person to be active, but at the same time, you also ponder, you also think, meditate. Are you too active? Or things can be done in a slow way also. Because instead of going out and criticize some people and thinking that because of them you are not happy, why not ponder, why not focus on your own self? Is it necessary to do that in that way? It can wait for some time also. So you can, both of you will be in the middle path, not extreme. I think that will help. So both of you will understand each other, and he or she with that company will also adjust with you, and you will also adjust with them. So that is the way life becomes all right. Sometimes some people, they are so intelligent, they understand things so quickly, and they start thinking around why these people are not understanding. You will notice it in the children's school. There are some children, they are very bright, very intelligent, they understand things, and whenever the teacher says, they listen, they immediately understand, and that is over. They know that this I have learned. They will start playing, they will start creating something, and naturally the energy is there. Then the teacher will say, oh, this is a naughty boy, as a very unattentive girl. Not that. They have understood all those. So that is the way you have to understand. I can do it so quickly, but this person cannot. So, well, let me do it in a slow manner so that he can also cope up with me. This will help you. Thank you.
Shrima Viswas is asking, how can we meditate?
Srima, this is a practice, constantly meditation. If you have already taken the initiation from a guru who has taught you, or otherwise what you can do, you can choose a god or goddess And just think that within the center part of your heart there is a flower, on the flower there is a burning lamp, and try to visualize that flower and the lamp, forgetting your own body, and don't think the physical heart. It is just imagine that there is a beautiful flower, on the flower there is a lamp, and the lamp, the light is not flickering. It is still as if it is burning in a place where there is no flow of air. So that way, if you can try to imagine, even a flash, 1 or 2 minutes, that will be sufficient for meditation. Every day, at least twice or thrice, if you practice, if you are trying for 10 minutes, maybe 10 seconds you will get that view. That is sufficient. Try in that way.
Akshay Bhatia is asking, why do some saints in their poems call themselves sinners even though they have realized God?
Oh, that is to express the humbleness, that the sinners means we are no one, we have nothing, oh God, you are the only one, like that. That to express the humbleness. That is the. So the good questions, thank you. And you know that this reading, I am sitting over here in Chicago in America, and then reading out, and you people are listening. And why all this? Only one, that we should be happy. The reading means not that a holy book we should read, not that. And it is only and only reason that we should be happy. And to become happy, we should have the clear idea that every day we are becoming old and going towards death. And if the mind, which is having so many different type of thoughts, if we cannot now slowly minimize those and focus on something which will bring happiness to me, then what is the purpose of this human life? The animals, they survive only for survival, but the humans survive only to go beyond this life and death circle. So let us try and then pray both this together, that will give us the success. And someday we will be able to say, as the Rabindranath said, even the death becomes a lovable God. Marana re tuhu momo shamo shaman. The death is the greatest fear. But one who has understood that the death cannot create any problem for them, so that happiness should come. So slowly reduce the desire, try to understand others and give them liberty and freedom. Before me this world was, after me this world will be. Why unnecessarily I worry? So that should be the conception. So let us pray to the God and offer our pranam, and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.